rise for a salute to our flag and remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving here and abroad. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger published a notice on December 10th, 2021, posted on the municipal bulletin board, and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilman Small. Councilwoman McCullough.
Here.
Vice President Ficarra.
Here.
And President Bauer.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from November 1st, 2022?
Motion. Second.
Any comments or questions from council? In favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances, tonight we'll take the only one listed, which is item A, which is an amendment to Chapter 7 of the revised ordinances, and this is put a parking time limit on parking on an area of Middlesex-Essex Turnpike in Islip. With that said, can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Ordinances first reading, we're going to take letters B, C, D, E, and F by consent. Can I get a motion that these ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on November 25th, 2022, with notice of public hearing to be held on December 13th, 2022 at 6 p.m.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And Mr. President, listed before you are resolutions 1 through 26. I'll take a motion on that, please, to do 1 through 26 by consent.
Motion. Second, please.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. This time we'll go to the public comment portion of this meeting. When approaching the microphone, please state your name and what section of this township or state that you live in. You will have a one-time opportunity to speak up to a 5-minute time period. All video taking must be taken from the rear of the room in the designated area. There will be no shouting out from your seats. Be respectful of each other, and please make sure there are no signs or posters in the aisleways or walkways. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. President. Ken Gardner, Scoter Avenue, Woodbridge. First, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and say that democracy and free elections are great. And one of the best things about elections is that they come to an end. So they're over. Congratulations, Councilwoman, on your victory, and best of luck. And along those lines, downtown area, we see many of the new apartments have now been opened and have residents. And certainly we all want Main Street to succeed. I think it was the Chief of Staff, Carol Ehrlich, came up with the idea of introducing the new residents to the businesses on Main Street, which I really think is a great idea to get them familiar with the town, and again, to help our Main Street succeed, and really to, if you think about it, the purchasing power of Woodbridge Township and our 100,000 residents is awesome. So if you are going to buy a bicycle for a family member or maybe help Santa Claus deliver one, we have Extreme Bikes built into Woodbridge Auto Parts. If you need your auto parts, great places right across the street. You've got Nevis Jewelers for some beautiful gifts. A little further down the block, if you're doing some home improvements, you have Carpet Maven. I know I've used them before. They do great work. And a few doors down is Goddess Boutique, has really beautiful dresses and women's clothing. Another great store across the street. You know, I've been going to Charlie's for breakfast, but I think the Charlie's employees are waiting for Notch's Bagels to open because they're too busy over there. They got too long of a line. So I think the employees are forming a union over there, Sharon. I want you to get your doors open. So good luck, and hopefully that happens for you in the New Year's. We know that was a great place, and of course across the street you've got San Remo's Pizza, which has been there since 1969. So obviously they're good and keep going. And further down, if you need a beer on the way, the Main Tavern's been there forever too. Across the street, you've got Il Costello's, the best fancy restaurant around. You've got the new, the takeover from where J.J. Bidding is. Is it called the Brew Company? Is it the Woodbridge?
Woodbridge Brewery?
Woodbridge Brewery. Been there a few times. Another great place, and they treat our public servants well also. And while speaking about public servants, to our police director, I want to thank you. I heard of and then saw on Instagram that our police officers are now taking up jiu-jitsu. I got to learn a little bit about that through a family member a while ago who was part of a pilot program with it and working to help in the whole effort for de-escalation. So that's been a big public topic for a long time, and it's been heard. So to you, Director, and to our department and the others that have participated in this program, it's really a great thing to try to de-escalate the situation. I don't know how the hell these guys do it. I watch them do it. They're tying one, and the ladies tying one another up like a pretzel on the floor. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of great work, but hopefully it'll help us get through some of the other social issues. But I think having said that, I do think our police department does an excellent job. I read last week, we've had some, right here in our own Woodbridge, we've had some scary robberies really very close to home. And it is a great town. We don't have a lot of that, but when we do, our police officers are out there doing a great job for us. So happy Thanksgiving, and good to see you all.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
How you doing? My name is Michael Lisboa. I live in Seawarren, New Jersey on Old Road. My family moved here in 2006, and I moved in here around 2010. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of people moving into the area, a lot of traffic. I jog from Seawarren all the way to, sometimes I go all the way to Metuchen through the Greenway. And I see everything that we have in this town, and I noticed that there's parts of Colonia, Port Reading, maybe not Port Reading, but Ford's. What was that other part over there? I can't remember. But they have speed bumps. We need speed bumps on Old Road. We have a school there, Matthew Jago. I have a 3-month-old daughter that I like to take on walks with me, and we nearly got struck by a car. The FedEx trucks that are coming out of Carteret, they're speeding down Old Road. I don't know why they don't want to use West Avenue anymore. But this has been going on for like literally 3 years, and after nearly getting struck by cars so many times, I'm just like tired of it. I witnessed children with their parents being walked to school down Old Road to Matthew Jago, nearly get struck by cars. Everybody speeding in there in the morning. I see it more now that I work a hybrid schedule, so I'm looking out the window as I'm working, I see these cars speeding by. Now, you guys put 2 vehicles out there unmarked, and they're doing a great job, but they're not there enough. And I don't know if that has to do with the budgeting of your scheduling to put a person out there on post or what, but we need something until something happens. And God forbid something like that happens. But I suggest that the town pays for surveyors to monitor the situation of speeding, and let them decide what will be the best spots to put these bumps. I would suggest anywhere that there is a street that connects West Avenue to Old Road, and both Port Reading Avenue and Woodbridge Avenue at the end. And definitely by the school, And I don't understand how other parts of the town, they have speed bumps. They had a cry about it. I see over here on Port Reading Avenue by the church and the cemetery that they're doing something over there to help them. we have way more land and there's way more valuable assets, the children of Seawarren and Woodbridge, on that street than over there on Port. So I suggest that the town makes the investment as a preemptive investment to, protect our strategy. So please, I ask you, we have to put this in place. And unfortunately, you look at it's a lot of commercial vehicles doing this. The FedExes, the UPSs, the Amazon trucks, they're the ones doing it. And I spoke to one of the cops that was on, doing the writing the tickets and stuff. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. A long day. And he's trying to do his best, and he expressed to me, these guys they're just speeding. They don't care, and they don't observe the signs over there, and I don't get it. And it's a narrow street for a two-way. It's pretty narrow if you look at Old Road, especially when cars are parked on both sides, So, I'm asking the town to please look into this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Hello, Brian Mullen, Manor Avenue, Woodbridge. I have a question. I don't know if I can ask questions here, but is there any bicycle rules in Woodbridge as far as riding on the sidewalk and things like that? And also, electric bikes are becoming more and more prominent. I take walks around the town and I get the electric bikes just pass right by you on the sidewalk. I'd like to know if we're going to implement any rules for electric bikes. They go at fairly good speed.
We have ordinances for bicycles. I don't know about the electric.
So we do have ordinances for bicycles about whether or not they're allowed on sidewalks, and it depends on the age. And then there's also regulations that I'm somewhat familiar with. I'd have to meet with the police director to talk about. It depends on how quick the speed is on the actual bicycle that has a motor with it, as to whether or not they're permitted or not.
Okay, because I take walks and a lot of, they just go whizzing by you. Sometimes they could care less.
You do have a lot of share of the roads.
Another question is, how do you go about requesting crosswalks be painted? I'm looking at the corner of Tisdale and Green Street.
You can reach out to your councilwoman here, or you can reach out to the administration directly, mayor's office.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you get your information to Councilwoman McCullough, we'll take care of it for you.
Okay, and in line with that, this is probably a state item, but how do you light at Green Street and Route 35? It's becoming really worse and worse as more traffic from all this building comes. Is there any plans to have a left turn signal there? The roadway is wide enough. It's got the lanes, but nobody seems to care.
Mayor's going to answer it.
Mr. Administrator,
Council President, if you would. So, yeah, there is a plan. So that's a DOT traffic light in New Jersey, Department of Transportation traffic light. There is a plan to rehab that light in the upcoming future. There also is a plan to do some work there. As far as the crosswalks are concerned, I've taken down the Tisdale and Green Street. We don't have our painting crews out now because the weather's too cold. But as soon as they're out again, we'll put it to our traffic maintenance group and have that area done. So if you just send Town Hall an email or your council member, we'll definitely address those issues.
Okay. Last item I have is dog parks upgrades. I noticed in some of the political literature there's dog park updates in Seawarren. I go there 2 or 3 times a week. Have they been done or will they be done? Because I don't see any upgrades yet.
Mayor?
It's part of a larger project to redo the entire marina area, and that is kicking off in December with the bulkheads. The dog park has not been specifically addressed yet. That's a longer-term thing, but it will be the early part of 2023 when that is redone. Basically, where the dog park is now, it's all going to be moved back, and then where the dog park is now will be parking, and the dog park will probably more than double in size with a nice track around it. And there'll be all kinds of new equipment there, so it's due for a major upgrade. It just didn't happen in 2022, and it should be done in the first part of 2023.
Is there any way I could look at this?
Sure.
Planning? Because I looked online and I didn't see any planning. I went through the whole list that you have, and I saw nothing for the C1 dog park.
If you want to give Sharon your email address, we'll make sure we get it out to, I'll email you the plans.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Hello and namaste everyone, respected council members, mayor and official of Woodbridge Township. I am Pratiksha Gaikwad and I am a resident of Islin and a volunteer with Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh USA. Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh USA is a 501c3 voluntary, non-profit, social, educational and cultural organization registered in the US. HSS has been serving Woodbridge community for more than 10 years through community service programs like Yogathon, Teachers Appreciation Day, Food Drive and Winter Clothing, Yoga for Seniors and community cleanups to name a few. I'm here today to give update on Seva Diwali food donation drive. Seva Diwali is an initiative by Hindu American communities, individuals and organizations like yoga centers, spiritual centers, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Jain centers, temples, gurudwaras and Indian socio-cultural organizations that believe in Seva Dharma, that is service to humanity, is service to divinity. Mission Seva Diwali is to foster togetherness and selfless giving for the welfare of society by promoting the festive and enlightening spirit of Diwali. Seva Diwali project was started in Woodbridge, New Jersey in 2018 and nationally it is coordinated by HSS. In past few years, Seva Diwali has come to demonstrate the collective strength and synergy of the Hindu American community in performing valuable service to their local communities. We have been expanding nationally year over year. In 2021, the campaign ran in 200 cities across 32 states and collected around 600,000 pounds of food items and donated to 376 food pantry soup kitchens across 40 plus townships throughout the country. This year's NJ collection as of today is 102K pounds and still counting. At Woodbridge, HSS organized its 5th annual Seva Diwali food collection drive from September 26 to November 5th. This year we had an amazing partnership from 21 schools in Woodbridge Township, Wegmans, the Goddard School, Dogwood Meadow Community, Art of Living, Malkham Federation, Sanskrit Bharati and HSS Senior Citizen Group. Our volunteers set up food collection centers in their home and ran neighborhood campaigns. Most of our volunteers are school students and they have collected food by standing in front of grocery stores on Oak Tree Road and by doing a door-to-door campaign to spread the word about the food drive. A total of 13,000 pounds of food were collected and handed over to Peter Barcelona from We Feed Woodbridge at the concluding event on November 5th held at Indiana Avenue School number 18 parking lot. The concluding event was presided over by Mayor John McCormick, attended by council members Viru Patel, Sharon McAuliffe, Lisbeth De Jesus and Kyle Anderson, Police Deputy Chief Joseph Neski, Community Police, Islin Fire and Health Department staff and community leaders. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to all our volunteers, partnering organizations and Woodbridge Township officials for their unwavering support. The Woodbridge community has always responded amazingly to all our community service program, and I once again thank you for all your support and encouragement to HSS by giving us the opportunity to make the Woodbridge community more inclusive. I like to end by quoting Councilwoman Lisbeth De Jesus, who said, at our concluding event, it is special that children collect the food and it is going back to some other classmates. In a sense, you are building the leaders of tomorrow. You are doing more than collecting food, you are building the community. I thanks you all once again and wishing you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your community service and thank you for all you do for our local communities. Thank you very much.
Council President, I just
Yes.
want
Council.
to add, stopping by there that Saturday and seeing the children waving cars down and bringing them into the parking lot of School 18 and their participation. And you're thanking us, we should be thanking you. It's through our community organizations like yours that collaborate with the township and the resources that the taxpayers help provide, that we can make sure that everyone's Thanksgiving truly is a holiday where all can enjoy. It was really a nice Saturday, and I know that it took a lot of work and coordination, and I do just want to also thank one of your leaders, Mr. Nambiar, for his effort and coordinating and communicating with us about the event. All we did was show up, but we are there to support you. But thank you very much. It was a wonderful event, and I'm looking forward to next year. And I've also attended your teacher appreciation events in the past, and that is something that we need more of in our community, to see that our students and our families honor their teachers and the way that you do this. And I remember a few years ago at Colonia High School, and it was a wonderful event, and I attended with my friend Mr. Patel. And please inform us of when that is, because we like to publicize it. We can be your mouthpiece to the community, and we can publicize it so that everyone sees the good work that you're doing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Not fair to follow that. We're talking about pilots. This is not as good as that. But anyway, congrats, Sharon.
Thank you.
So hi, Scott Gorge, Woodbridge proper. So, if you know me, I'm the guy that talks about pilots and all that stuff. And I want to clarify, I wasn't able to make the last few meetings. I want to clarify a few misrepresentations, John, I think you made in response to some of the comments I made in terms of the use of pilots from the last time I was here, and then address the council directly. Don't forget, I am 100% pro-growth of downtown and all of Woodbridge Township. I am also not against the use of pilots. That is a big misrepresentation of what I am saying, when done appropriately. In fact, we a couple times we corresponded years ago, we shared the almost exact same vision about restaurants and all these things. We are on the same page, where the only place we disagree is the use of 30-year abatements for residential buildings. I was imprecise in my language about pilots and school funding, and I fully understand about the shared service agreement, the bond agreement between the city and the schools, which is a great thing. I haven't finished reading it, but as I understand, it's not specific to pilots. I never said pilots hurt schools. That was something that was said in response. In fact, I said schools will get their money. They'll set a budget, they'll get the money. Pilots, when used inappropriately and too long-term, hurt taxpayers in the long term, the ratables, because pilot assessments are not included in the school budget tax levy, which means when the school taxes go up, only ratable taxpayers pay the increases. And in the long term, and this is the part we don't think about, in the cycle, the city does well, property values go up, the city is doing extraordinarily well, and there is a significant risk under the equalized aid formula that 5, 10, 15 years down the road, the state decides to reduce our school aid because we're doing so well. This just happened in Jersey City. I know I'm a broken record. Then the ratable taxpayers are left to make up the difference, which for us right now is about $80 million, which can put the average tax burden, if you lose a quarter of that funding, the average tax burden will be $500 for every $20 million pulled in state aid down the line, for every $75,000 of assessed value. Pilot buildings will not cover any of this shortfall. These cycles do happen. State aid is not infinite. I'm going to read you a quote. New warehouses and retail centers do not cause any burden whatsoever on the school system. I agree. It is residential development that generates additional school children. Who said that? John E. McCormick, mayor of Woodbridge Township. He then goes on to say, well, schools are capped at 2% spending, so that keeps it in line. Well, great. So we'll have crowded schools with limited access to funding for its growth unless the state increases aid, which balloons the budget even more, so that when they pull the funding one day when we're doing so well, we're going to pay for it. He also says we share about 25% of pilot revenue with schools, which means the net to the city is only incrementally more than if we were ratable buildings. And the builders themselves, if you need 30 years of tax abatements to turn a profit in a highly desirable area with direct transit access to New York and Jersey City, you shouldn't be building buildings. I don't know the motivations here, and I can't even speculate to guess, but I'd like to understand and see the work behind why 30 years is appropriate for these buildings and the ones we're going to pass in the future. I'm not against this. Again, As of now, it seems like we're just subsidizing 30 years of wider margins for the developers, which I'm not against as long as it's 5, 10, 15 years. The bottom line, there is no justification for 30-year pilots on residential developments. And you even have a solid case study that just happened in Jersey City, right in your backyard. Disagree? We'll talk offline, and I'd like to see the work. To the council. Again, I am 100% pro-growth, and I'm not against the use of pilots. 5 years is way too short to spur and incentivize development here, which I'm for. But 30 years is obscene and inappropriate, no matter what anyone's telling you, no matter what sunk cost fallacies we're chasing, okay? Sharon was kind enough, Councilwoman Culver was kind enough to sit with me for over an hour weeks ago and ask very thoughtful questions about how it all works and what went down in Jersey City. And she can attest, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to think. This is a very complex topic that deserves your attention because you all vote on it. So here's what I suggest. This is what I would like to do. I would like to send an email after Thanksgiving to the 9 of you, just the council members, to join a Zoom call with me to have an open discussion about this. At a minimum, I would hope my at-large council people and my councilwoman who represent me would attend. But I would also really love to see those amongst you that have an open mind, even though you don't represent my ward. I want you to challenge my analysis and come with an open mind to learn. I may even have a guest or two who are CPAs and college professors that run civics groups in Jersey City who analyze what went down there. I will also email you links to all of their analysis and all the work that I've done on this. I am offering you the chance to pivot and grow Woodbridge the right way, not burden current and future rateable homeowners with significant tax liabilities down the road. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Any other comment from the public this evening? Yes, sir.
Good evening, members of the council. I just want to provide an update on
Excuse me, just state your name and the part of the township you're from, please.
Sure. John Shu, 219 West Shirley Avenue, Edison, New Jersey.
Thank you.
I just want to provide a quick update on the municipal resolutions opposing the proposed construction of the power plant in the Caseby section of Woodbridge, proposed to be constructed next to the existing power plant named the Woodbridge Energy Center, which went online 6 years ago. To date, we have 7 municipal resolutions and 1 county resolution opposing the power plant. The most recent resolutions were passed in the neighboring municipality of Rahway and the county government of Somerset. These resolutions are in addition to the resolutions passed by Hoboken and Franklin townships, and 4 of the 6 municipalities closest to the power plant, which include Edison, Highland Park, Perth Amboy, and Saraville. Only Metuchen and South Amboy are among the 6 municipalities that have not yet passed these resolutions. These resolutions highlight the public's concern about the proposed power plant. It is said that these power plants are clean compared to coal. They may be clean, but they still produce a significant amount of pollution into the air that residents have to breathe. According to the Union of Concerned Citizens, the elevated levels of particulate matter and the ozone produced from power plants can lead to adverse health outcomes, including respiratory system symptoms, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. Also, it's been discussed that due to the land surrounding the site of the proposed power plant being contaminated, and based on the promise by CPV, the company that wants to construct the power plant, that the promise that the land would be cleaned from the contamination or radioactivity, which to date has not yet been completed. This was a promise yet to be fulfilled. So it has been suggested that we must choose between being free from contamination or radioactivity, or being free to breathe the air, breathe the pollution of yet another power plant. I say there is no reason that we cannot do both, to be free of contaminants, whether it's from radioactivity or from air pollution. And I'll just conclude by saying the big concern obviously is the climate change. That's talked about quite a bit. We've seen the warming temperatures, summer-like conditions in November, but that's that's just anecdotal. You have to look at the trends, and the trends have shown that there has been heating, and even our congressman Frank Pallone has said that Climate change is an existential threat to us. If that is true, then we have to do all we can to address it, whether it's providing power through alternate sources, or, well, that's the main thing, or reducing our use of power by having more efficient buildings, more efficient transportation, more efficient agriculture, sustainable agriculture. So those are some of the solutions. It is possible for us to work towards a better world, I believe, and this is just to let people know what's going on and to help. Hopefully, we can garner more support from the public on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, James Dabrowski, Woodbridge proper. In the interest of time and transparency, I will explain why I'm here tonight by sharing our recent email correspondence I hope you've all taken the opportunity to read and to really think about. Good evening, Woodbridge Township leaders. I'm writing to you to express my concern about the Confederate troop, the CSA Virginia Cavalry 7th Regiment, that marched in our community's Veterans Day Parade yet again this year. I know our Recreation Department Director and Board of Education member Brian Molnar introduced them on the microphone as a Civil War history group, but shouldn't we have a Union troop marching in that case and not a pro-slavery Confederate troop? Should we have a Nazi troop marching as a World War II history group? Of course not, and for the exact same reason. White supremacy must never be honored and must be condemned in all of its forms. Mr. Molnar also announced that the Confederate troop has been marching for over 30 years now, echoing the words of retired Woodbridge firefighter Ed McGuinn when he stood right here at this very microphone at our February 15th council meeting and displayed a Confederate flag, while he thanked the mayor and council for continuing to allow the 7th Virginia Cavalry to march in our parades, all while members of the Proud Boys hate group sat in these very seats and were never denounced. If there's one thing we can learn from history, it's that just because something wrong was tolerated for many years, it doesn't mean that it should always be tolerated. An important component of anti-racism is that when we know better, we must do better. If Woodbridge is indeed serious about committing to anti-racism, then I think you'll agree that we have to do better than this. I thank you for your consideration and look forward to your response. Sincerely, Jimmy Dabrowski, Perth Amboy Area Branch NAACP, Woodbridge Township School District Parent. I received one response. Good morning, Mr. Dabrowski. Thank you for reaching out. As you know, we as a school district have no control over who marches in the Township Veterans Day Parade. Nonetheless, I'm writing to reassure you that no representation of the Confederacy took part in our school's recognitions of Veterans Day. Best regards, Kendall Ali, Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Woodbridge Township School District. I replied, thank you, Mr. Ali. I really appreciate you getting back to me, but I was especially hoping to hear back from your colleague, Brian Molnar, who does have control over who marches in the parade, and who even found it acceptable to announce over the microphone, and now we'd like to welcome the 7th Virginia Cavalry. While it is reassuring to know that the Confederacy wasn't recognized at any of our Woodbridge schools' recognitions of Veterans Day, it is still very troubling that Woodbridge Township students were part of a parade that recognizes the Confederacy. In fact, as Mayor John E. McCormick posted on his Facebook page, 3rd and 4th grade students marched in the parade after winning poster and essay contests. And there were, of course, the high school student marching bands, color guard students, junior ROTC students, etc. included in the parade. The mayor even found it acceptable to highlight the Confederate troop on his Facebook page, which I'm sure you would agree is an embarrassment to our community. I copied you and many other members of the McCormick team on this email because I want to be transparent and for you all to be aware of what has been happening for so long, and hope that someone in this administration will find the conscience and courage to exemplify the anti-racism pledge we have our students recite and stand against the racist continuation of a Confederate troop marching in our community's parades. If Mr. Molnar or anyone else on this email could please assure me that this will no longer occur, I would greatly appreciate it. Sincerely, Jimmy Dabrowski. And since I haven't received a response from anyone since then, I'm hoping someone here will please take this opportunity to exemplify our school district's anti-racism pledge and assure us here tonight on the record that we no longer have to worry about a Confederate troop in 2022 marching in our community's parades. Council President.
I have no comment this time.
Come on. Does anybody have a comment on a Confederate troop marching in Woodbridge parades? How can we call ourselves the best town around? Come on, somebody's got to be able to say something about this. This is not okay, and most of you, I hope, know that. Wow. I'll say what I say to the Board of Ed this past Thursday evening. This is the complete and total opposite of anti-racism and a terrible example for our students, for our kids who are watching. And they're seeing you refuse to say we won't have Confederate troops in our town's parades anymore? The pro-slavery Confederacy? Who, if they had their way, my wife and son would be enslaved? Come on. This is what we're talking about. You won't denounce Proud Boys, won't denounce Confederate troops. What will you denounce? Anything? But we're the best town around, and we're committed to anti-racism. Come on. Wow. So disappointed. Justice for Nigeria Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Dabrowski.
Justice for Jeremiah Daniels Porter. Black Lives Matter. Stop the KSB power plant. No, no, thank you.
From the public this evening.
Should be ashamed of yourself.
Good evening. Paul Lund, Hope Lawn. Yesterday I gave out the balance. Last time I was here I gave out highlighted standards, comprehensive health and phys ed standards, state of New Jersey, that was rolled out this year. I'm wondering if by show of hands you'd be willing to share. Did you get your copy? Because I gave Mr. Mitch's office several more to hand out to every council person. And the reason I'm bringing that up again is the nation's report card just came out, and we have a county superintendent interim of schools here. I'm wondering if he's aware of our proficiency rate among 8th graders in New Jersey, for example, reading proficiency. And the reason I ask that is it's in the 30s. The people who are reading in 8th grade in New Jersey is in the 30 percentile. Reading at proficiency. I think that is, it's unspeakable. If the children are our future and they're not being taught reading, writing, and arithmetic, and now we're introducing instead extreme sex ed. Why do I call it extreme? If you read the standards, by 2nd grade, they're supposed to know about gender identity. By 2nd grade, that means it can be introduced earlier. When I went to the convention, the teachers' convention in Atlantic City, they had drag queen story hour, which they want to bring into kindergartens around the state. I'm going to state the obvious. That's inappropriate. And the reason I bring it out here is a lot of decisions are made here. I know we just elected a nonpartisan team on the Board of Ed, re-elected them, and they're full bore on this. Teaching, as you once put it, very, very openly, teaching anal, oral, and vaginal sex by 8th grade, and then giving abortion, destigmatizing it as a very acceptable way out of taking responsibility. They use the word grooming. You use the word you're protecting them. I think you're sexualizing them. I think it's unacceptable. And the more people of faith and conscience that speak out against it, including members of our town council, the better. So I was wondering again, do you know what the proficiency rate is in New Jersey for 8th graders now? Because the one I gave you was pre-COVID. For some reason, the state of New Jersey doesn't want to release the recent test data to see how far it's gone from there, the learning loss. Now, I keep hearing anti-racism. I must say, I need to know, since it's such a buzzword, is it enough not to be racist? Is it enough not to judge people by the color of their skin? Is that enough anymore? Do we have to actively root it out everywhere we see it or everywhere we think we see it? Now it's even implicit bias, unconscious bias that people are guilty of. They don't even know they're racist. How convenient that is. Everyone can be accused at any time. They even have a system for accusing in our school system. It's called the DEI reporting form. Anyone interested in what I'm talking about, any people of conscience, I represent myself as a concerned citizen. I also represent as a volunteer, No Left Turn in Education, 26 chapters around the country. in 26 states, and I represent Central Jersey. Come see me, we'll talk about it further. Again, do you know, County Superintendent, what it is? And secondly, I had parents ask me, what is it that an interim county, or excuse me, a county superintendent of schools does that's not already being done by our municipal superintendents around Middlesex County?
Thank you, Mr. Lund.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, everybody. John Bertati, Woodbridge. I just want to change a little bit of the different things. But again, Mayor McCormick, you talk about the build a second plant in KSB, and you said you would clean up at a radioactive site.
Please respect the speaker, please, you two. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Tara.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They're speaking over you. Thank you.
What happened was that a lot of people, they heard about it, but you said, how do you clean up a radioactive site? Is it possible? Everybody I talked to, everybody said it cannot be done. You cannot clean something there's a nuclear waste on it, except you got to remove it. And I believe the only place you can take it someplace in Arizona. But again, when, at what time did we take possession of the property? Everybody goes back, we used to be the Red Arsenal. There was a lot of, during World War II, a lot of ammunition, a lot of things that were kind of not clean, stored in there. And I guess my question would be, that was given to us from federal government. Why did we take such a site where they knew it wasn't a clean site? Now, whose responsibility is to clean it up? And I don't think you can put Amazon or any other place over there and put like Woodbridge Community Center, put the plastic on it, it says now it's clean, you can build on it. If there's a radiation in there, like we do in Europe, fence it off and let federal government get into it, but don't ever touch it. Because people should know about it. Another thing, 4 and 5 school in Evanel, you'll be cleaning it for at least 2 years. And things are not done. And the reason you can't build a school, because it is contaminated soil. You can clean up 6 acres, how are you gonna clean up 100 acres? And that place, I don't think it's very active, but if you got such a thing in KSB, I understand the place in Edison, behind a Home Depot, they used to make an Agent Orange. That thing is just fenced off. Do not enter, don't touch. So could you explain to the people, how do you intend to clean up the radioactive site? And who can do it, and how it's done?
Number one, we don't own the site. Number two, we've never owned the site. And number three, we've not paid a dime for the cleanup on the site. It's privately owned, and the company that owned the land sold it to the company that became the power plant. We have nothing to do with the cleanup. I'm an accountant, I'm not an environmentalist. I can't explain how they clean up radioactive sites, and it's not something that is important to us. It's overseen by the federal and state government. You need to understand, we don't own the site. We've never owned the site. We've never cleaned up the site, and we're not responsible for cleaning up the site. It's privately owned and privately cleaned up. Now, at Avenel, you're still talking about us cleaning the site or the Board of Ed cleaning the site. There have been 2 owners to that site. Premier Diecast was the company that was on the site. The question was asked to me, I think, last meeting, who owns it? I don't know who owns it, if it's the same owner as Premier Diecasting. I don't know if it's a real estate investment trust. I don't know if it's an LLC. I don't know if it's a family member. I don't know who owned it, but they sold it to the redeveloper of the warehouse project. And the school district has never been in the chain of title, and the town has never been in the chain of title, and the school district has never paid a dime to clean it up, and the town has never paid a dime to clean it up. So you're asking about 2 sites that were somewhat contaminated, one a whole heck of a lot worse than the other, but the fact is, neither government entity in this township has ever been responsible for, or has ever been involved with, or has ever paid for the cleanup of either site.
Such a thing as Evanel site, how could you tell people to vote on a $35 billion bond, where they're going to build it, where they approved it, and you don't own the site? You know who owns the site.
We've never owned the site.
We never
The
owned
site
it, but
was
you know who
planned-
does own it.
The site was planned to be given to us by the company who bought it from Premier Diecast, and they made that part of their proposal to us when we sold the 50 acres behind it on the Woodbridge Developmental Center. And they agreed to buy that and also buy Premier Diecasting and give it to us for the school, but the stipulation was that they would clean it up before they gave it to us. And then, as you know, which I explained in detail the last meeting, the Board of Ed changed their mind on the project because of the $15 million additional price tag. They voted on it on March 10th of 2020, and on March 12th of 2020, coronavirus hit. And then the inflation hit, and then the supply chain problems hit, and the cost went from 35 to 50 million. And since they haven't even started yet, and it takes probably 18 to 24 months to build a school, that cost could be 55 to 60 million. So they decided not to go out to another referendum to ask more money from the taxpayers, and they decided to use the money that was left over from the 35 million to enhance School 4 and 5 and to build an addition on the site on property they already own. That's the complete story, and we've repeated that every meeting since the board made that decision.
Are they allowed to
Excuse me,
use the
Mr.
state?
Tarek, your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public? Hearing no other comment, can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion. Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? So moved. We'll go into the agenda session.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. At this time, my agenda is in order. I have a few announcements. The Ford's Business Community's 6th annual tree lighting will be Saturday, December 3rd, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. next to the VFW at the newly acquired Township Public Lot on New Brunswick Avenue. Tree lighting will be at 5:30 p.m. Some earlier events taking place in the Second Ward at Ford's that day will be at 12 p.m. The Ford's Library, Stories with Santa, and lunch at Dolce's Pizzeria with Santa from 1 to 2 p.m. I have another announcement. The Barron Arts Center Holiday Model Train Show for 2022 will be November 26th through December 30th, closed on December 25th and 26th. Reservations required on all weekends and then the week after Christmas. That will be December 27th through 30th. No reservations needed Monday through Friday, November 28th through December 23rd. To make reservations, call 732-634-0413. Please note, there will be limiting the number of guests at the time during the train show to allow for social distancing. Face masks recommended. Barron Arts Center right over here on Roy Avenue, Woodbridge Avenue. Yes. Yep. Thank you. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you to those who are not able to be home, those serving our country, our community, and our residents. Thank you for your service during the holiday season. Council Vice President Vaccaro.
Thank you, Council President. I have a number of announcements of activities around the holidays. First, the Woodbridge Township Health Department has their holiday health fair on December 3rd from 9 to 12. There are games and prizes, of course. Want a Smoothie will be there. Finesse Studios, New Jersey Family Care, free health screening, local community resources, Society for the Prevention of Teen Suicide, dietitians, giveaways, and more. There will be certain screenings for blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, stroke, risk assessment, BMI, breathing, and pulse ox. So this is a great opportunity over at our health center. And our director is here today. This is Saturday, December 3rd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This coming Saturday is our second annual 5K Walk Turkey Trot, 5K Walk Run. And you can pick up your bibs at 8:30. The run walk starts at 10 a.m. and that's at Alvin P. Williams Park. And there are prizes for all different age groups. The Woodbridge Community Center holiday season has their annual holiday extravaganza. The Woodbridge High School, Ford's Middle School, and Ross Street Elementary School will be performing on Friday, December 2nd, 12 noon in the Community Center gymnasium. Also at the Community Center, the Senior Holiday Luncheon is for Community Center members. Tuesday, December 13th, 12:30 to 5:30 in the roller rink. It's a big event. Admission is a good fee of $5, and that's for lunch and dessert. And then Santa is also coming for ice skating at the community center on Saturday, December 17th from 2 to 4. All those events you can reach out to the community center. And finally, Pictures with Santa at Parker Press right across the street here on Saturday the 10th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and you can just show up there. And then finally, in respects to the issue of the food banks and the nice work that your group did, I was a pleasure to attend the new distribution center at the Knights of Columbus building right up the street. And what makes that unique is that there are large refrigerators there, which allows the group to accept perishable items, which we couldn't do in the past. The not interesting, but rather alarming part of it was that Peter Barcelona made a statement that prior to the pandemic, we served 600 families, and now post-pandemic, we're up to 1,400 families. So it shows the need in the community and the good work that folks like you are doing. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Council President. I think that's enough of what I have.
Thank you. Councilman Small's excused. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Thank you. I'm going to move down to item number 10, Free Public Library of Woodbridge. Woodbridge School District has mounted an exhibit of the best of student work for a unit on Native American cultures. This work will be available for viewing until the first week of December. On Tuesday, November 29th at 7 p.m., the main library will host an in-person program with Laura Covich-Draper on the use of historical newspapers in your family genealogy, the range of details that can be discovered, how and where to find digitized newspapers, and search tips. Now, the kids are off for Thanksgiving and they'll be off for Christmas. Pick up a kit for a virtual program with local artist Kamal Mira via Zoom to learn the basics of making a mandala. Supplies will be provided by the library. Participants must pick up their kits from the main library and register to receive a link for the program, which will be held on Thursday, December 8th from 6 to 7. Call the library at 732-634-4450 or visit the library at woodbridgelibrary.org for more information. Now I want to go back to item number 5, police community relations. I personally want to thank, and this goes hand in hand with what you just said, Greg, that we went from 600 families to feeding 1,400 families. Debbie and I have been working with our schools, and this year the PBA came to me and said that they wanted to work and they wanted to service part of our township, Fords, Hopeland, and Caseby. And today they packed over 70 meals, Thanksgiving meals, along with Superfresh, who was kind enough to donate the turkeys to the PBA, but they paid for 70 Thanksgiving meals for 70 families, and that's just on Ward 2. That's not all of our township. We are 10 towns. And I personally want to thank the PBA, because not only did they take that initiative to not serve the community that they already serve, but go beyond what they're called to do and think about our families, especially our children during this time. They packed up, they went on their days off, a lot of their volunteers, a lot of our police officers on their time off, took today and went there this morning, and along with people from Superfresh and community people, packed up these meals and delivered them. They delivered them personally to some families, and in other cases they went to the schools. So I've always been proud of the work that our police department does, because they go far and beyond. And this just solidifies how I feel, the fact that they care about the community that they serve. And that's all we want. We want police officers that truly care about the community that they work in. So thank you so much to the PBA 38, the police director, the deputy director, Captain Kuzma, because the leaders are why we have such a great police department. The men and women do an exceptional job, but today they just prove how they go far and beyond, and the care that they have for Woodbridge Township community. And along with the PBA, there were a number of officers that went beyond and donated their own money. Aside from the PBA, they did because they felt it. And I just want to say thank you for for caring about our community. Thank you for serving our community the way that you do. You are appreciated, and I want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. I want to wish all of our families a happy Thanksgiving. There is a need in Woodbridge Township. Unfortunately, post-pandemic, there's a lot of issues with families. You know, a lot of families lost work. A lot of families lost family members, probably, you know, the sole provider. So we want to do the best that we can to make sure that no kids, no children in Woodbridge Township go hungry. And again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank PVA 38, all of our men and women in our police department. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And especially another group, Saeed, you thanked us, but Kyle was right. We should be thanking you. And for me, it was impressive the amount of children that were there, because the kids were the ones that brought the food to schools, and they were the ones that, you know, I'm sure a lot of times were on top of their parents. I need to bring this to school, I need to bring this to school. But the effort that your organization, along with our township schools and the children, it's very special. So thank you for the work and taking this initiative. And that's all.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President. Just an announcement on behalf of Councilman Small. This Saturday is the 3rd annual Woodbridge Township Light Parade. Kicks off at 6 p.m. at New Street on Woodbridge. You can go on the Township website, the Mayor's page, any one of our social media pages to find the route. Starts in Woodbridge, goes out through the entire township, and ends in Woodbridge each year. Also thanks to Mr. Mitch. Gets bigger and better, so kids love it. So come on out for that, please. Item number 1, Avenella's Very Merry Holiday Lighting is set for this Sunday, November 27th from 4 to 6. Come out with photos with Santa. We have the horse and carriage rides, the train, a bunch of things for the children, marshmallow toasting, a bunch of great stuff. Woodbridge High School, Avenella Middle School will be performing. Parking will be available at the First Presbyterian Church. As Mr. Mitch and myself have been glued to the TV, apparently there might be calling for a few raindrops. We're going to play it by ear, and it's not something that you can piecemeal and try to do something half inside. So our fingers are crossed, but we'll see what happens as the week, but we'll see. Item number 4, congratulations to the Woodbridge Golden Saints, who won their championship this past weekend with an 18-12 victory over Bloomfield. They also had 4 players on the team that were picked to play in the North versus South All-Star game next weekend, so congratulations to them. Nice honor. The rest of my agenda is in order, Council President. I'd just like to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving. Please, we're talking about food banks and everything. Please try to help out your neighbor who might not be as fortunate. Thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, and all of our public works and township employees. God bless America. Thank you, Council President Bauer.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have an announcement about our tree lighting, which will be this Saturday. It will be at the Evergreen Center in Colonia. We are meeting at 6:45 in front, and we have the St. John Vianney's Choir that will be performing for us. We have some hot chocolate and donuts, and we'll just wait for the light parade. Hopefully, like I said, the weather is good, and we expect for the light parade to hit Colonia around 7:15. So we hope if you're around and you want to come out, it should be a great day. And I just kind of want to piggyback off of what Lizbeth said, just everything about the community and Thanksgiving. I'd like to just thank Pastor Leslie Samuel and John Paul Abitch from the Evangelist Church in Island. Yesterday morning, I was able to join them for their project, Boxes for Hope, with a few of my friends and their parishioners, where we worked together sorting through, packing up, and delivering Thanksgiving meals for 160 families in need, which will feed 450 people. The church raised money on their own throughout the year to be able to purchase all the supplies to be able to give to all these families. I'd like to thank the wonderful crew from Public Works who helped us deliver all the baskets to the school. And I'd also like to recognize the police department, like Lizbeth said, who juggled their schedules and gave up their morning packing up Thanksgiving for so many families. We shared our list, and they were able to take some, and the church was able to take the other. Just these families that we collectively help are right here within our community. They're families with children in our schools. They're senior citizens living on their own. They're neighbors you would never think would need a meal. But because the kindness showed by churches and groups and the police department and the council and administration and just anybody that donates a turkey or a can of food or just volunteers their time to help us. It's giving these people Thanksgiving dinner, and it truly says a lot about our community. So please continue to give to those in need this holiday season. There are so many families that could use a hand up without judgment, and there's nothing that will make them feel better than there's nothing that will make you feel better than to give of yourself this holiday season. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for helping us to be able to help other people, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Thanks.
Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I do want to have two announcements for some employment in the area, and this is for our local Amazon. If you're a military person, Amazon is hiring transitioning military members, veterans, reservists, National Guard members, military spouses, and military dependents 18 years or older for hourly positions. Our part-time and full-time roles are uniquely positioned to support you no matter where you might be in your career or military transition. Your experience can lead to a career growth opportunities at Amazon, so you can join them at amazon.com/militaryjobs, and you can learn more if you text the word military to 77088. Same goes for people with disabilities at Amazon. This is here at our local Amazon. Amazon believes that we are best when our employees reflect each other and their communities. That's why we have resources available to help people with disabilities succeed, from the job search through your Amazon employment, bringing together people, inclusive from the start, and helping you thrive at work. And there you can text PWD to 77088, and you can sign up with Amazon, with alerts for Amazon. And then you can also check online regarding amazon.com/accommodations or amazon.com/PWD for people with disabilities hourly jobs. I do want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I want to thank all of our first responders who are not going to be at the Thanksgiving Day table with their family, and thank you for being out there during this time in this holiday season. If anyone wants to know what the difference is between a county superintendent and a district superintendent, you can go to www.middlesex.county.nj.gov. So you can look online, and it's very clear and bulleted as far as what that position does. And I want to thank everyone on the council. We did have an opportunity. We met a local star, a former local star, Kelsey Grammer from Cheers and Frasier, who grew up in Colonia, and we had a very nice conversation with him. He recalled his teachers very well, had a lot of fond memories in Woodbridge Township growing up, and it was just nice to see somebody who we've all come to know and think we come to know come and spend a few minutes with us and talk to us about his time in Woodbridge. So that was a nice experience that we all shared. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Yeah. Thank you, Council President. My also agendas, they are in order. I have a few announcements. Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank the representatives from the HSS who organized the Seva Diwali food drive for coming to this meeting and updating us about their activities. I also like to thank the parents and the children for their dedication in serving the community at large. Indian Business Association, which represent businesses on Oak Tree Road, Islin, they will hold their annual Christmas spectaculars on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022. This Christmas celebration will be held in the Lourdes Hall at the St. Cecilia Church, which is located at 45 Wheelers Way in Islin, from 5:30 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. They will have plenty of toys to give out They will also serve pizzas to the guests. There will be a magic show and photo booth. Also, every guest or the family can have a picture with Santa. The event is open to all and the entry is free. I would like to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, to you and to all your family members. That's all for me.
Thank you. Councilwoman McCullough.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is on order. I just have a few announcements to make. First, the Chamber of Commerce has 2 holiday events this month. December 6th from 5 to 7, there's an after-hours event at Aquila's Tree Lot. Come join the fun, get your Christmas tree and your wreath, and do some networking and enter in to win a holiday prize. And the Chamber's last event of the year will be the Holiday Luncheon, which is going to be held on December 12th at the Delta Hotel from 11:30 to 2. Come and enjoy a holiday cocktail, a plate at lunch, while listening to the holiday songs performed by the Woodbridge High School Choir. The number 8, the Gallery on Main. It's not too early to start your holiday shopping. Stop by the Gallery on Main, located at 101 Main Street, and pick up a unique holiday gift from one of our artists. The gallery is open from Thursday, 12 to 7, Friday, 2 to 7, and Saturday, 12 to 4. And this Saturday on Main Street, you can kick off the holidays and join us at the Winter Fest. It'll start at 4 p.m. on Main Street. There will be a lot of festivities, including horse and carriage rides, ice skating, visits from Santa, and much more, with the tree lighting followed by the holiday light parade. And I'd just like to leave you with a quote from Winston Churchill. "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Thank you to everyone who gave to others during the holiday season, and have a very happy Thanksgiving to all the residents of Woodbridge Township. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple items. Thank you for taking action on an expansion of premise tonight for one of our businesses. I appreciate that. That's been noted. I've also added on a new investigation of a liquor license that I've turned over to the police as of today. The only other item is down to number 6. If anybody has any further questions regarding best practices, give me a call. I appreciate those of you who reached out to me to go over that in the past week or two. And reminder, we're going to retire into executive session immediately following the legal department's agenda. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Hubner.
Nothing tonight. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Director Darden.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Director Brew.
Thank you, Council President. I have a few items. First, from Nigerian Associates, proposal for completing the watershed master plan. Second one is from Collier's Engineering and Design for a proposal of Omar Avenue Extension Phase 3. The third one is Collier's Design also for Phase 4 of proposal on Omar Avenue. And item number 4 is a refund of a permit fee for 100 Amway Avenue. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Wojciechowski.
Thank you, Council President. The Health Department is seeking council approval to renew our opioid overdose programs shared services agreements we have with 6 towns and the county of Middlesex.
Thank you. Business Administrator Zaluga.
Thank you, Council President. I have one item tonight for tax and sewer overpayments. Thank you.
Thank you. Legal.
Nothing this evening, Council President. Just want to wish everybody very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, I'm going to introduce resolution number 7 so that council can retire into executive session for approximately 20 to 30 minutes to discuss collective bargaining and other related personnel matters. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, I can please ask the public to exit the room so we can retire into executive session. Thank you. Council, we're back into regular session. Before you is a resolution to approve 2 collective bargaining unit agreements for Team Schools Local 469 custodians and the custodian supervisors. Could I get a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. So moved. Can I get a motion to exit the meeting?
Motion. Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.